Hey guys, welcome back to Love By the Healing Space. I'm Adria, your host, your homegirl, and yes, a marriage and family therapist. Last week we unpacked the big question: am I being dramatic or was it bullying? And for those who are freshly new, you guys can go back to our last week episode where we discussed, am I being dramatic or was it just bullying? And this week, we're putting some numbers on it, okay? Because it's one thing to just share information, is another thing to understand the numbers behind the information that we're sharing, right? Because sometimes seeing the facts helps you realize you're not alone and you're definitely not making it up. Sometimes it's so important to actually see the numbers in your face and really quantify what we're talking about and really understand that bullying is real and bullying is happening to a lot of people. And again, a little fair warning, some of these stats are pretty heavy, but still they matter, and they're a mirror showing us that bullying is not just a kid thing, it's a human thing, and we got to face it together, okay? We're not here to face it alone. We're here to face it together, to face it as a community. And I am here on a mission, and we're going to tackle this together. So when we talk about bullying, right? Most people think that bullying is just kids. And people think of bullying and they're thinking of probably like their local playground or their local gym. But let's zoom out of that, right? Let's really gain perspective of what bullying really is. And I'm going to share some numbers with you guys as far as some stats so that you can really picture what bullying is. Just from 2023 to 2024, so just 1 year, right? And I don't have stats for 2025 as we're only, midway through, but I will collect more data for 2025 so that we can compare what's been going on from last year to this year and so on and so forth. And for school age bullying, between July 2021 and December 2023, about 34% of U.S. teens ages 12 to 17 years old reported being bullied in the past year, okay? So and those are cases that were filed, and those were kids that actually spoke up about it. We're not factoring in the adolescents that have not spoken up, right? The adolescents that were just dealing with it and they did not tell anyone and they didn't share and they just kept it to themselves. And that jumps to 47% for the LGBTQ youth. So again, these are really high numbers for our adolescents. And this is just in 1 year, right? And at school specifically, in the year 2021 to 2022 school year, 19% of students ages 12 to 18 said they were bullied at school. And 22 of those said it happened online or by text. So let's factor in people are getting bullied physically in person in school, and then people are also getting bullied online, so through social media, and people are also getting bullied through text messages. So not only are people receiving and getting harassed in person, but now when they actually leave and they're actually leaving school, now they're actually also harassed in their own home. So at some point it's kind of like, okay, well, where are they safe? I'm not safe in school. I'm not safe in my own home. I'm not safe when I even open my phone, because I can possibly open up a message and it might be a sense of harassment, a bullying. It might be any sort of message or any sort of information that is being sent that is negative and that is to hurt a person. Wow. I really wanted to tackle workplace bullying. So, workplace bullying in 2024. According to the Workplace Bullying Institute, about 1 in 3 American workers, that's around 52 million people, have experienced bullying at work. So to put this into perspective, that's more than the entire population of California and Florida combined. When I'm hearing those numbers, I'm just honestly like, I'm flabbergasted, because I wasn't even thinking that, wow, people are really being harassed at work. And again, it comes in so many different forms. And it's even more troubling in over half of those cases, so about 55% or so, the bully is actually the person's boss or a supervisor. So not only are you going to work where you spend most of your time, I would say roughly 8 to 12 hours a day, people, give or take, can spend at their job. So you're going to work, and which is supposed to be a safe space, a space where you're calm. You're not necessarily extremely stressed out unless you're dealing with a high-paced, pressured sort of job. However, you're going to work and you are being bullied by your boss. That right there does not sit well with me. That is sad. That is shameful. We are here with you. Just know that we are supporting you. I would love to hear stories. I would love to hear, questions about if you are experiencing that, if you are part of these people that are experiencing workspace bullying, even if as a youth. If you have stories or know stories of someone that is being bullied, someone that is not being treated well, share those stories, but also step in if you can. And now for the trans and gender questioning youth. In 2023 CDC Youth Risk Behavioral Study, almost 40% of transgender questioning students are bullied at school, about double the rate of their cisgender peers. The numbers are real. It's really happening, but change is so much louder than those numbers. We can always shift that. We can decrease those numbers. We can improve those stats. And I want to spend a moment talking about that, because it's one thing to name the problem, and it's another thing to ask, what do we do about it? How can I intervene? How can I help? If you ever felt stuck watching bullying happening at school, at work, online, or even in your own family, and thought, how can I help? This part is for you. Let's talk about how we can start shifting this together, okay? Where you don't have to do this on your own. We're here to help. I'm here. We're here spreading awareness. Again, you're not doing this alone. But we can't fight what we can't see. For kids and teens, that's giving the tools early on, such as programs like social emotional learning, which helps build empathy, regulate emotions, and learn how to handle conflict in ways that aren't harmful to the child. And for adults, we got to get real about the forms of bullying, okay? So it's not just yelling or name calling, but emotional manipulation, microaggressions, exclusion, and control. Okay, we have to get real and honest about those. Those are forms of bullying. And we need more workshops and trainings that show people, hey, this thing that you're brushing off as it's just how it is. No, it's not. It's actually bullying. Because too often, especially in the workspace, is dressed up as tough leadership or just business. Oh, how many times have we heard that? Oh, it's just business. Oh. But you have to be impactful and intentional. Bullying thrives in silence. So we need to take a moment and remember that. Bullying thrives in silence. We need systems that don't just react to bullying, but prevent it, interrupt it, and support those impacted by it. In schools, that looks like clear consequences and meaningful support counselors, peer ally programs, safe adults. In workplaces, that means HR policies that actually protect employees and not just the company's reputation, which we've seen that so many times, right? And yes, we need laws that reflect the reality of workplace bullying, because right now, too many people have nowhere to turn. Too many people do not feel protected. Too many people do not want to say anything because they feel like they're going to either risk their job, they're going to risk their school, they're going to risk their life, their livelihood. People should feel safe speaking up and confident they won't be punished for doing it, okay? We also need to create spaces where we support victims, okay? Support isn't just about punishing the bully, it's about people healing. Mental health services need to be easier to access in schools, on job sites, and in our communities. It should be extremely accessible. It should be very easy. It should be in a block away from your home. Mental health services should be easily accessed. And we need to normalize peer support. Those first responders who say, I see you, I've been there, here's how I got through it. And again, it's so important for people to feel and understand that they are not going through it alone. You don't have to fight this battle by yourself. I'm here. LovedBy is here, and we're here to help. Anonymous reporting tools also matter. Sometimes the first step is just being able to name what's happening without putting yourself in more danger. And let's empower bystanders. Here's the thing. Most people don't want to be part of the problem, but they don't always know how to be part of the solution either. That's where bystander training comes in. There's something called the 5 Ds of intervention. And it starts with distract the situation, delegate to someone who can help, document what's happening, delay and check in after, number 4, or directly address if it's safe. So distract, delegate, document, delay, directly. And those are the 5 Ds of intervention. So every time you witness harm and choose to interrupt, even if it's in a small way, we chip away at the power it holds. We stop being silent and we start becoming safe. Right, so questions and answers. Let's start this up. So question number 1 is, the person bullying me is my boss. Is that really bullying? So we learned a little bit earlier in today's episode is that the Workplace Bullying Institute's 2024 survey shows 55% of workplace bullies are bosses, and about 32% of Americans have experienced bullying at work. This is not just how it works, right? It is a recognized problem with serious mental health impacts. And absolutely, bullying doesn't disappear after high school. It just changes shapes, right? In workplace, it looks like public humiliation, withholding resources you need to succeed, micromanaging in a personal, not professional manner. So, yes, it is bullying, and you can be bullied by your boss and or your supervisor. And if you are, please share your stories and know that you are not alone. You can always go and talk to HR, but understand that you are not alone, and it's not something that is normal, because it is not, okay? Now, question number 2. I have to have my caffeine, as you guys know. Can you be bullied online if you can just log off, right? So why am I getting bullied if I can easily just sign out of Instagram, or I can sign out of Facebook, or I can sign off of any of my social medias, right? So our stats show that in the CDC's 2021 to 2022 survey, 22% of bullied students said it happened online or via text. For adults, a 2021 Pew Research study showed 41% have experienced online harassment, and 75% have witnessed it happen to others. And the number being 75% is substantial. People are online and scrolling through, and yes, okay, 100%. Online harassment can be relentless because it follows you home. It shows up on your phone, and it can spread faster than face-to-face bullying. I personally believe that cyberbullying is the far worst, because even when you want to be home, even when you want to be in your own space, the accessibility of it being on your phone, and when you even if you don't want to like log in and receive that type of energy, but it's there. And even if you block people, if you delete people for whatever reason, people know how to connect with you through using different numbers or scam emails, and they will taunt you. And it's a real serious thing, and it's unfortunate that that is what's happening to a lot of people. You are not alone. Question number 3. If I speak up, won't it just get worse? So let's go into our stats, right? Research shows that when bystanders intervene, bullying stops within 10 seconds in more than half of situations. Speaking up works best when you have others standing with you. So it stops within 10 seconds. Those 10 seconds could either be better, or those 10 seconds can be terrible. So the fear is real and sometimes valid, but silence is what keeps bullying alive. You don't have to confront alone. Safety planning and allyship matters. Again, you are not alone. If it's something that is happening to you, or if you're seeing it done to someone else, intervene. Let's think about the 5 Ds that we learned about when it comes to being bystanders, and let's utilize that as well. Question number 4. I still remember things from middle school, and I'm 30. Am I broken? Wow. Definitely not. Long-term studies show Childhood bullying can increase the risk of anxiety, depression, and PTSD symptoms well into adulthood. That's why healing requires compassion for your younger self and not dismissal. You are not broken. You are human, okay? Human. Our brains are wired to remember experiences tied to strong emotions, especially fear and shame. And that actually reminds me of my own personal bullying story. And I'm 33 years old. And my personal bullying story happened when I was in 7th grade, actually. 7th grade, so I was 12 years old. And I remember that I was always slender. I wasn't as developed as the other girls in my grade. And there was this upperclassman she was in 8th grade. So she would come to me and she would taunt me, literally. Like, she would be like, oh my gosh, you're so ugly, or you're so flat-chested. Why do you think you're fashionable? And at the moment, it would bother me, right? But I wouldn't react. I wasn't ever the person to react to things. I would just sit with me, and it really bothered my self-confidence, and I really started to look at myself as the problem. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's so right. And again, at that moment, I was giving my bully the power, right? The power of making me feel less than, giving her the power of what I thought about myself. And up until a few years later, when I started going through my healing, was when I recognized that, and I understood it, that it wasn't about me. It was about how she felt about herself, and trying to project that onto me, onto my aura, onto my confidence. And I did not allow that. I did not allow that to become my story. That is a story that I will talk about, absolutely. But that is not my story. That is not the story that broke me. That is not the story that I am ashamed about. Absolutely not. I know now that it wasn't about me. And I know that as long as I'm doing the work, and as long as I am trying to heal, and I am not projecting those emotions and those feelings onto others, that is what's most important. So here's my favorite part of our podcast, where we can have a little healing moment together. So let's take a pause, maybe grab your tea, grab your coffee, grab your water or your mimosa. And right now, I want us to breathe in 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to hold and exhale. And you breathe in from your tummy, and you exhale out, and you exhale all of that negativity, all of whatever it is that you're thinking that is holding you back. You push that out of your energy, okay? Inhale positivity, inhale growth, inhale amazing energy, and exhale the negativity. And let's think about one journaling prompt. So what's one moment of bullying, past or present, that still sits with you? And what's the truth? I wish I had known in that moment. So what is one thing that you remember from being bullied? And what does it say about you, and what did it say about your bully? And I want you guys to work on that this week. I want you guys to process that. Sit, if you're maybe taking a bubble bath, if you're driving, if you're taking the bus, you're walking, whatever it is that you're doing for 1 or 2 minutes, and sit and process that. And share the truth with yourself. You can say it out loud, right? You can write it down. You can say it to yourself in a voice note. You can write it in your note section. Again, you are reclaiming your voice. You're reclaiming your power. Because it's all about you, and it's about taking your power back and understanding that you are strong, and whatever was done to you, are not letting bullying or anything that has happened to us define who we are. Again, it was just a moment. It was an experience, an unfortunate experience, but it doesn't have to be carried on through our life so that we're constantly thinking about it, we're constantly giving it energy. It's time to reclaim back your power. It's time to understand that that situation or whatever that was, that moment, it was a moment, and we've accepted it, we've dealt with it, and now we're ready to grow past that. We're ready to leave that in the past. That is not your whole book of self. That was just a minor paragraph. So let's not create it and allow all of this energy for that moment. Bullying is more common than we think, but you are more powerful than you know. So I wanted us to go over a weekly affirmation. This is what I want you guys to go with, and I want you guys to think about it during the week, during whatever it is that you're doing, if you're commuting, whatever you're doing. I want you to know my voice is valid, my feelings are real, my healing is mine to claim. Again, my voice is valid, my feelings are real, my voice is mine to claim. Wow. And next week, it's all about you, your stories, your questions, and your truth. I'm ready to hear different tea. If whatever it is that you guys want to talk about, whatever you want to send, it doesn't just specifically have to be about bullying. We're holding an open forum where you're able to just share and send in any questions, create a space for us to connect as a community, whether it's big or small. I want to know about it. I want to hear about it. I want to know how your week went. I want to know how you defended someone that was getting bullied. I want to know what you did for your self-care for the week. Whatever it is, whatever stories, you can send it in, you can DM me. I am so excited to connect with you guys. And again, thank you so much for logging in. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like my podcast, and stay tuned.